A dramatic reading of a One Angry Gamer article. Netflix's Castlevania has Alucard engage in gay anal sex by Billy D. Let's get a good look at this countenance right here. Enjoy that. If you've been a fan of Alucard from the Castlevania video games, you probably won't be after you watch Season 3, Episode 9 of Netflix's Castlevania series. The producers took great liberties with the show, not only including some butch, androgynous, interracial lesbians in Episode 4, but going so far as to have Alucard succumb to a threesome to a pair of Japanese siblings. One female and one male. In one sequence, we see the male Japanese sibling mount Alucard for gay anal sex. The entire sex scene involving Alucard's threesome and his emasculation into gay sex is intersped throughout other action sequences taking place throughout the 25-minute long episode. It starts at the 4:25 mark in the episode, where Alucard is laying down to go to sleep. The context is that he's been lonely living in Castle Dracula until two Japanese siblings come to him for training to kill vampires and to learn how to move the castle. The twins have ulterior motives, though, and they hatch a plan to kill Alucard after seducing him. They come into his chambers and undress. The scene starts with the twins kissing on Alucard's chest and lips, both of them taking turns. Between the action sequences taking place throughout the episode, around the 8:45 mark, they cut back to Alucard kissing and caressing the twins. It then sees the female twin going down on Alucard's nether regions, implying oral sex. At around the 16:19 mark, we see the female twin stimulating Alucard's nether regions with her hand, while her brother appears to be giving Alucard analingus. However, things take a turn for the worst at the 16:29 mark, as the male twin hoists Alucard's legs on his shoulders, like some poor pallid maiden in a blacked video. The horror. I can barely look at that screen cap, I'm sorry. He mounts Alucard in a missionary position, while Alucard winces and cries, likely because there was no lubrication involved, and the pain was too much for him to bear. This is also one of the leading causes of sexually transmitted diseases among gay men, since stretching the rectal linings without lubricant oftentimes creates tearing, which in turn causes bleeding. We don't want bleeding in our vampire show. The transmission of bodily fluids through the urethra in an unclean region like the rectum can result in contracting a disease or giving the recipient an unwanted infection. Nevertheless, the male twin finishes off Alucard, and shortly thereafter his sister takes one last turn on the blonde-haired vampire before they hatch their plan. Basically, Alucard is no longer the hero or icon you thought he was. The Dampier's dunghole was desecrated and systematically destroyed by liberal progressive propaganda, fueled on by everyone pushing for the gay agenda to take over every single aspect of media entertainment you enjoy. It takes a demented level of perversion to select a fan-favorite icon and subject him to a fetish that's known for carrying high rates of STDs, given that unprotected anal sex among gay men is a leading cause for sexually transmitted diseases and contraction of the HIV virus. Number one killer of Dampiers. In fact, according to the CDC, men account for more than 90% of all cases of primary and secondary syphilis, with 54% of those cases with men who strictly had sex with men. The most damning thing about it is that the state has been scrubbed from the CDC website. If you attempt to download a PDF of the CDC stats, it's no longer available. If you check the Wayback Machine for the most recent entry of the recent statistics, you get a 301 error for that particular page. Correction, the quoted PDF stats can still be found in the archive section of the CD website at the following link. Thankfully, the Wayback Machine still has the data visible from November 8th, 2016 article, so you can read all the stats for yourself. The hilarious part about this is that even while they attempt to rewrite the science and bury the facts, the CDC still has to admit that among gays, sexually transmitted diseases are far more prevalent than with heterosexuals, with the site stating, while anyone who has sex can get an STD, sexually active gay, bisexual, and other men have sex with men SSM are at greater risk. In addition to having high rates of syphilis, more than half of all new HIV infections occur among MSM. Many factors contribute to the high rates of STDs among MSM. So, why take a character from the Castlevania lore who was not gay and force him into gay anal sex? an act that is frequently known to result in gay men catching STDs. Why do it? To normalize it. Social engineering. It's no different than what they're doing with drag culture, drag story time, and the constant implementation of LGBTQIA plus content in children's programming. The idea is to make people think that it's a-okay, that if their favorite video game character engages in sodomy, then why can't they? It's the same as constantly peppering audiences with LGBTQI relationships everywhere, even when they barely make up a percentage of the population. They're overrepresented in media, yet they keep claiming they need more representation. Heck, GLAAD is literally trying to force media companies to make 20% of all media characters gay! It's why you see pointless lesbian relationships in shows like Castlevania, where they attempt to normalize androgynous-looking butch lesbians to distill anyone from finding them attractive, but to encourage everyone to think it's normal. These people have no respect for the source material. Have they read Carmilla? To think that they would reappropriate a legendary vampiress and put her into a scene that she shares with lesbians. There's no respect for the lore or the culture. Cursed liberals! What's more, is that the writer for the Netflix show, Warren Ellis, admitted he's never played any of the Castlevania games, so his involvement with the series is purely for propaganda purposes and nothing else. Go Nintendo picked out the relevant quote from Gizmodo, where Ellis stated, there were certain pieces I did cherry pick from different bits of the games, so if you're extremely well versed in Castlevania lore, then you'll see things you recognize as being drawn in from places in the canon. If, like me, you've never played the games, it won't make a blind bit of difference to your enjoyment of the thing. I'm just making it up as I go along. It's fine. This is all part of their agenda. The three I's: infiltrate, inculcate, indoctrinate. They won't stop here either. The Midnight Meat Mounties will go after all your favorite fictional male characters to take away their anal virginity, just like Scorpion from Warriors of the Wasteland. Expect the centrist trademark to flood social media and comment sections defending Alucard's gay anal sex with poorly constructed excuses such as, vampires have always been sexual. Yes, but it doesn't mean all of them are into gay anal sex. Expect him to throw up the equivocation. He was lonely. Yes, but even then, lonely men don't beg to have their rectums destroyed by sodomy. And the always typical, well, Alucard looked effeminate, so he's probably always into gay sex. A typical genetic fallacy. But it's too late now. Alucard's already been screwed, both figuratively and literally. His anus will never be the same.